Hello, everyone. This is Miranda Nichols, who used to be Miranda Holden in my last video. I'm posting an update video from the testimony that I shared. This is almost the 7-year anniversary of me sharing that video here on YouTube of my personal testimony of Jesus saving my life. And I recently got back onto that video and I looked in the comments and saw so many people asking for an update, asking how am I doing now, and I just felt on my heart that I needed to share of the continuing faithfulness of God and the continuing grace of God and redeeming work of God that He does as He sanctifies us as we continue to walk with Him. So as I said, I am no longer Miranda Holden, I am Miranda Nichols, and I wanted to share. I'm not tech savvy, so I don't know how to put photos into my video, but I pulled up some photos from my photo album of my wedding. I got married actually not too long after I made that video, because that video in part helped bring me to my husband. We were already talking to each other and already interested in each other, but when he saw my testimony video, he felt the grace of God on my life and the love that the Lord had for me, and it brought him to tears with love for me as well. And he felt drawn to be my husband through listening to my testimony, and we shortly after that decided to actually get married. And it was a whirlwind romance and a whirlwind love story that only God could have written, and a fulfillment of so many desires of my heart, and something that I did not see coming at all, but just came together in a way like only God can. And we were married, and it's actually almost our 7-year anniversary here as well. And so we have, like I said, been married for 6 years, almost 7. And we both love the Lord so much. Our marriage was founded on our love for the Lord. And He's been so much like Jesus to me. And the fact that He's continued to lead me through the journey of like walking with God still after everything I explained in my last video of my testimony. I still had a journey of overcoming shame, overcoming just those things that Satan tries to remind you of your past. And some of it I felt I had overcome, and then when going into marriage, into that intimate of a relationship, brought things up for me that I thought I had worked through that were painful for me to experience. And He was so gracious to me, and just like Jesus, and counseling me and reminding me of the Lord's love, and just doing what St. Paul says in Ephesians, for husbands to lead their wives and to wash them with the word and present them before God, just like Christ does with the church. And we certainly had our problems, as any married couple does, trying to work through our past and our mistakes and come together and just let the Lord sanctify us together. But God was faithful, and God continued to just blossom our marriage. And I'm excited to share that we not only were we married, but we have 3 kids now, because we felt like the Lord called us to be parents. We both had such a heart for children from the very beginning of our relationship, and just the beauty of bringing a child into the world and shepherding their heart and stewarding their soul to come to know the Lord themselves is an amazing calling. It's a very holy calling from God to train up a child in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. And we both had that on our heart, even when we were only dating. And so shortly after our marriage, we were blessed. Here, I have some more pictures. We were blessed with our first daughter, and she has such a joy and is so special and unique and beautiful. And we were so young when we had her, but she helped us mature. She helped us just grow up and realize the big picture of our legacy, of what we want to build. And she is almost 6 now. She'll be 6 next month. And then shortly after we had her, we also had a baby boy. And here's a picture of me with them. And we've just believed that children are a blessing. Just like Psalm says, the fruit of the womb is a reward from God. And blessed is the one whose quiver is full of them. And we have just loved letting the Lord just make our family. And there's nothing we love more than just shepherding our children's hearts and discipling them. And shortly after that, we found out we were pregnant again with our baby girl. And she is just such a spunky, sweet little thing. And she has changed our family for the better. We can't imagine our life without her. And this is an updated family photo that I have of all of us. And I shared in my first video about how I felt called to missions and how I felt so strongly to be a missionary. And I had joined a missionary program and had already gone on a missionary trip, and I had planned to go on another. Well, the Lord did not open that door for me to continue doing missions in that way. But God blew my mind and shifted my perspective when I had my daughter, because at first I felt like I was not doing missions work by staying home. And God spoke so sweetly and tenderly to me during that season of the calling of motherhood, and how it is the primary missionary work to be a mother, to be a parent, and to be given a sweet, innocent child that does not know anything yet, to be placed in your arms from the very beginning of their life. And you're responsible for telling them about the Lord and for reaching them and their hearts for the gospel, to train them up to be warriors in God's kingdom. And he just revealed to me how that is very much missions work. That is even more so missions work. And so I realized I was still fulfilling that calling through having my children and through making everyday discipleship in my home. And so in adding 2 more children, I've only continued to do that and to feel the Lord reminding me of that in everything that we do. And I homeschool them just for the sake personally of wanting that time with them to continue to disciple them. And I plan to keep homeschooling and to keep spending as much time as the Lord will give me with these precious children, and hopefully more if the Lord will bless me with more, to continue to be a primary missionary in my home to disciple these kids and to show them a reflection of Christ and his church through our marriage and through our devotion to God and our devotion to each other. And just remembering that family is the first institution that God created to reflect his nature and to reflect who he is, and to be that first example to our children of Christ and his church and the love and the unity that Christ has with his church. And that is our mission. And it has been amazing. It's been challenging. There have been many ups and downs and hardships and sorrows along the way. No relationship in marriage is perfect. No parent is perfect, but God has been faithful, and God has done a redemptive work in every area and will continue to in any area that still is in need of his sanctifying. And I am confident of that he will finish the good work that he starts in us always. And I have learned that I can trust him through all of these trials that we may have faced in the last 7 years. And rewatching that video that I made in 2018, being 18 years old when I made that and now being 25, I can see the hand of God since even rewatching it, just seeing his hand and how he brought me to the place that I was able to give that testimony was obviously his hand. And then to watch it at 25 with all the fruit of his blessing and the fruit of his presence, it's just incredible. And I just felt so called to share that and to give an update on the goodness of God, and that there's nothing that he cannot redeem. And our life is a journey where we will never stop being sanctified, and that as long as we stay close to him, we will continue to be more and more like him and more healed to the deepest parts of our heart that need healing. He will continue to reach into those places and continue to heal us. And I am so thankful that the Lord saved me that day that I described in my first video, and that he has been faithful to finish the work that he starts. And I know that that will be true for you. So I hope that my testimony is just a reminder and an example to anybody who was moved by my first video, that God is still doing his work and he's blessing me and redeeming me still to this day. And I know he will be faithful for the rest of my life. So thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed the update. Bye.